What is going on, my beautiful people? The day has finally come where I have bought a scope camera and a new scope for my air gun. We're going to get some cool footage. We're going to sight it in because it's a brand new scope. Never shot it. I'm going to give you guys the whole setup, so if you guys want to buy something like this in this price range, you guys can take a look at what I have and go from there and get some ideas. So here's what we're going to be looking at today. I have my phone on my scope camera. You guys can probably see that right there with my new scope, my Benjamin Marauder 25 cal. I'll go in more depth details here in a second. I got to get some got to get a chair to get set up and we'll go through some things, but let's do it. Before we even get into shooting this with the scope cam, which I'm really excited to show you guys because I've been shooting air guns for a long time, I wanted to give you guys a quick rundown of how much this setup that you see right here cost, and then we're going to show you guys accuracy out to 50 and then probably 75 yards as well. I want to show you guys that you don't have to spend, you know, $1,500, $2,000 on an air gun setup to get good accuracy, to be able to go hunting and just plink around for targets in your backyard. So we're going to go over this really quickly. The gun right here that I have had, and I've shot this is the first pre-charged pneumatic air gun that I've ever got. It's the only one that I ever have. This is the Benjamin Marauder 25 caliber PCP Airgun. This air gun retails right now, as of today. I did all of this pricing as of today. So you guys, when you see this video, let's say, what's today? We'll just say March 1st of 2025. This gun retails, the gun itself, without a scope or anything, retails for $525. That's all off Amazon. Everything you're going to see in this video is going to be completely off Amazon links. You can get it other places, probably eBay, Pyramid Air, Air Venturi, Air Guns, all those sorts of places. But everything you're going to see is going to be linked down below directly off of Amazon, with the exception of the side shot. I don't think they sell that on Amazon. I don't think they vend that out there. But the air gun is $524. Now the cool thing about this is this is an old-timey air gun. Usually you fill this gun, or what I've had my personal experience with, I should say, is you'll fill this gun up to 16, or not 1600 PSI, 3000 PSI, and you'll shoot 16 shots or 2 magazines, because this goes off of a rotary fed magazine, and you will be able to shoot 16 shots out to 50 or 100 yards at full power. After you get outside that 16 shot limit there with those 2 magazines, your power and your significance of damage and velocity goes down pretty considerably. So you want to shoot this 16 shots at full power, and then anything under 25 you might get an extra magazine out of. But I always just shoot it from 3000 to 2000. That makes it pretty simple to me to be able to remember, and then my gun just personally likes that. So moving on, when you guys are looking at this scope here, this scope is a 3 by 12 by 44 millimeter scope. So this is a center point with locking turrets, and I'll show you guys close-ups of this as I'm doing an overlay so you guys can see what I'm talking about. But this scope is only $54. Ted from Ted's Holdover, I'll leave a link to his video somewhere over there in the description so you guys can check out him doing a budget gun, but this is my side of things doing budget. He recommended this scope, and when I tell you that Centerpoint really hit the mark on this, they did a great job. I really was super excited to take a look through this scope. The scope that I had on this before was a Centerpoint 3x9. I wanted a little bit more magnification, because the more you can zoom in and make your target bigger, your error, or your room for error, goes down considerably, in my opinion. So a 3x12, super clear with locking turrets. And another key feature I like about this, and I'll show you guys, like I said, on a zoom out, is you can actually, on the left side of this is a dial that will focus this at any given yardage. So if you don't have a rangefinder, you might not necessarily need one with this scope. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't have one, but this scope has an adjustment to focus your crosshairs and your objective. So if you're looking at something, you're like, I don't know how far that is, you can dial this until it's really clear, and you're going to have a rough estimate of how far your target is from the end of your scope, which is really helpful when you're taking shots and you don't have a rangefinder, or if you're just on the go and you don't want to pick up a rangefinder dial, and stuff like that. So this scope, only $54. You can get it on other places for $150, but like I said, I found this on Amazon, brand new, in the box, in the package, for $54. I did have to make some adjustments with a couple rings and a base to make this fit my air gun, but that's totally fine. That's just part of it, but we're not going to count that. But that would be like another 60-70 bucks is what I had to put into it. But for the scope and the gun, we're less than $600 already. Now we're going to move to something that is really important, and you have to have this in order to shoot a pre-charged pneumatic. You have to be able to fill this air reservoir inside of this air gun. Now there's 2 ways, really 3 ways you can do that. You can do it with a scuba tank, a hand pump, or an air compressor. I've always had a hand pump, and it's really not that hard to pump a gun up to 3,000 PSI by hand. If you're getting into more of those high dollar guns that shoot, 4,500 PSI down to 3,000 or whatever, that don't have a regulator on it, that's a little bit harder to get, with your hand. You're going to wear you're just going to wear yourself out, and it's going to be harder on the hand pump. But a hand pump can go from anywhere. You can find them all day on Amazon. Like I said, I will leave them a link in the description. You can find a hand pump all day for 60 to 150 bucks. $200 is really those high dollar ones if you're getting like the name brand Benjamin hand pump or whatnot. And we're going to talk about my side shot scope camera. This is what you guys are going to be seeing me shoot some groups out here in a second. This runs $200, and it comes with one clamp for whatever scope that you have mounted on your gun. So when you get this, $200. Really super simple. This does not include a phone. I mean, if most people, who doesn't have a phone nowadays? But it's universal for any phone that has a camera on the back of it, which is really cool because if you switch back and forth, iPhone 15 one year and then it goes to a 16 where it has freaking 6 cameras on it, you can adjust that to that different phone. Or if your buddy wants to take this and mount it to his gun for a weekend of shooting whatever, he can take this and mount it as long as it fits the scope ring. So that's super, super versatile, super cool, and it looks really good so far. I haven't really had too much plinking with it, but I just wanted to show you guys this. So all in all, we're talking about gun, scope camera, that's even a bonus, and the pump. Everything you need except for ammo. Ammo's like $25 to $30. Like I said, link down in the description. You guys can check this out. And I think I even did it in my notes here. I have my notes here. $838 for everything. Now you can even cut some corners there. You can even get a cheaper air gun that I've heard great things about. Like I said, I've never owned it, but I've heard of let me let this plane go by. Okay, the plane's gone. So after this full setup, everything that you see here in order to get you shooting out in the field is $838. That's excluding tax and shipping and all that good fun stuff. But $838 bare price. That gets you well below that $1,000 price range to just completely start shooting an air gun that's high powered, that can kill pretty much anything you're gonna shoot this at. This is a 25 caliber. I've killed squirrels, rabbits, raccoons, possums, coyotes. I've killed so much with this, but you can also, with the versatility of a 25, is it bucks the wind really well. So I think this is a great option for you guys to look at if you're wanting to get into an air gun that's well under $1,000. So we're gonna get into shooting some groups. We're gonna shoot a group at 50 yards. We're gonna shoot a group at 75 yards, and I'll let you guys see the results for yourself, and we'll do a review, and that'll get you guys out of here. But I appreciate you guys watching. So let's shoot a group at 50 yards. For those of you wondering, we are shooting the JSB Diablo King Mark IIs. They are 33.95 grains, so we're shooting the heavier versions. They make just the standard Kings, which I think are like 28, 29 grains. I'm not 100% sure. I'll let you guys know. But I've always just used heavier pellets because heavier pellets are more stable, more accurate typically, and do a little bit more damage, or put a little more wallop behind them. So we're going to shoot a group. This gun should be fairly close to sighted, and we got a target about there. I would say close to 40, 45 yards, somewhere in there, and see what happens. Right for the middle dot there. Go take a look. So as I just mentioned, I like to shoot heavier pellets. I already know this group's actually really good, by the way. I think they might literally all be in the same hole. I haven't sighted this gun in all the way yet. In fact, this was the first, I think this might be the only second clip I've shot at this distance. But I think we're a little bit low, right? But I think they're all almost in the same hole, which is really cool. But we're gonna move the sight. Yeah, look at this group. This This is crazy out of an air gun that's not super expensive. Look at this. Put in perspective. There's my pinky covering the whole group from about 40 to 50 yards, somewhere in there. That's awesome. First shot, here we go. I have no idea where it hit. I'm just going to keep aiming and shooting. We'll see what happens. That looked really low left. Make sure that wasn't me. Point of impact looks consistent. I think we're just shooting low left. Let's go check our group. Kind of thinking it's not the gun's fault. We're going to come up with two excuses. One, the wind picked up a little bit, which at 60 yards that does have a big effect. And two, it's muddy and my chair's like sinking in. I'll show you guys, but I mean, you can see. Without the exception of that, that's decent, but I don't like that. But I've definitely, like I said, I've definitely seen a lot better grouping out of this gun. That'd have been a great shot, but who knows? Proof's in the pudding though. This gun can definitely shoot pretty good range. I think the furthest I've killed anything with this air gun, I shot a squirrel at like 160, or not 160, 126. So I've killed a lot with it out far, but I don't know, maybe I just suck today. Maybe that's what it is. But I hope you guys got enjoyment out of today's video. Definitely check out all of this. If you're interested in this sport, this really isn't super expensive. Yes, it's an upfront cost, but once you buy it and if you take care of it and you clean your gun and do all that fun stuff, which I haven't cleaned my gun in a while too, I just thought about that. But you get the idea. Clean your gun, maintain it, and all that good fun stuff, and you'll probably have great success and longevity out of your products. If that's being said, I hope you guys are doing great. I will see you guys in the next video. Subscribe if you're new, share this video, all that fun stuff. Leave me a comment if you shoot an air gun, what air gun you shoot, what caliber, all that good fun stuff. I'll see you guys in the next video.